What's up, y'all? Sparta here. I just want to make a quick update video because I am getting an LG G8 Monday. It's in transit right now, and I just wanted to say that because it's taken a bit for me to get. Yeah, I had a choice between V40 and G8. I went G8 solely because the V50 is not that much different from the V40, so it's not really worth it to me to get that. I mean, obviously it has a bigger battery, 5G capabilities and stuff like that, but it's not something that I would say in terms of camera and audio I would go towards first. I'd rather go towards the G8 because compared to the G7, it definitely has more going for it in terms of what it's doing and what has changed about it. But yeah, but that's pretty much it as far as that goes. I guess now I'm gonna finally touch on this audio thing with the Note 10 and V40. I did want to wait for the G8, but I do want to, but I don't think it's going to be that much different from the V40 because they came out like 4 months apart, 4 or 5 months apart. So I'm going to just keep it like this. So the key differences between in terms of corded audio, I'm going to talk about speakers in a second, but corded audio, which is what I focus on quite a bit more, is that the Note 10 doesn't have a headphone jack, nor does it really have any sort of hi-fi DAC solution, unless you just get a separate USB DAC off of like Amazon or something. The V40, as well as its predecessors up to the V20 have the quad DAC. And I'm not going to go into the nitty gritty of what that exactly means. I will probably just make a whole new video based off of research and what that actually means. But it's basically 4 stages of cleaning the audio and making it sound better and stuff like that. So that's that's a whole scientific video that I would have to go through, and I'll probably do it, but I just don't really have the time because, as you guys know, I do work. So that's just something that is going to be a time sink. So, what does the Note 10 actually stay equal with the V40 on, in my opinion? I'd say the Note 10 has slightly better speakers. Why I say slightly better, while they are louder and clearer, the problem that I have with it is that due to it being stereo speakers, the top and bottom separation between the top grill up here, which you can't really see, so people just mistake it as people tend to mistake it as, oh, it has an in-display speaker. It doesn't. I did too, but I actually looked, and it has the ever so smallest speaker grill up top. So, yeah. And what my problem is with that is that more audio tends to come out one speaker than the other sometimes, and it's never really consistent. Like some things will be like, oh, more audio is coming out the top and more audio is coming out the bottom, and it is never really consistent in that regard. Whereas the boombox speaker, which the G7 before this had, and it has a louder version of it, they lowered the volume of the boombox, of the speaker in general, just to make it sound more balanced, and I feel that works in its favor because the boombox speaker on this is still really good. It uses the frame of the phone as a resonant chamber. This particular case doesn't really affect that at all. I can still get that effect very nice. I'm not going to play any sort of music or anything. Don't want some company to copyright claim me and then put ads on the video, so I'm not going to do that. But yeah, in terms of which one sounds better, honestly, I'd say the I'd say the Note 10 is definitely more immersive in terms of its, speakers, while the V40 can definitely get as loud and as clear, but it tends to be a bit more bassy with certain things. Both have this thing where the back of the phone will indeed vibrate. I don't think it's intentional with the Note 10, but it's definitely intentional with the V40 due to due to the frame acting as a resonant chamber and all that stuff. So yeah. But the nitty gritty that I want to get down to today is corded audio. So immediately off the bat, the Note 10 will be the least versatile phone when it comes to that, due to the fact that you have to buy a separate dongle, because no adapter comes in the box for a USB-C to 3.5 millimeter jack. Now you could probably find like a USB-C to 3.5 millimeter cord in like Target or Walmart or something, but I haven't really seen them anywhere, so I can't really comment on that. But I've been using, say, my OnePlus 6T's dongle or the Google dongle that I got from work, and those work totally fine. And honestly, audio sounds good enough with it. And if you use the supplied headphones that come with the Note 10, those sound pretty good. They're not terrible. They definitely have muddier sound, bass drags, like vocals through the mud sometimes, and you can't really hear a lot of the finer details in tracks. But honestly, I don't think it's that big of a deal if you don't really care about that. Whereas the V40, and this is something that I will always, no phone, I feel, unless another company comes out that really wants to take audio seriously. ZTE isn't even really doing it anymore, but I'm gonna do that in some other video. The Hi-Fi Quad DAC is good for powering very demanding sound systems, headphones, stuff like that. I have to plug in headphones to even show you guys, because you can't really get into the settings without doing that. But oh, right. Quad DAC. Okay, it really doesn't tell you like it does on the V20. So let me actually go into the V20 and do this. Come on, fucker. Oh my god, and of course all these fucking notifications want to come in. What in the hell, man? Yeah, it doesn't really tell you here either. But what the most powerful, headphones the Quad DAC can power are 600 ohm headphones, and those are like very power hungry. And comparatively to comparing the V40 and the Note 10 in terms of how long you can listen to music and stuff like that, in general, the Note 10 has very poor standby time. Like, I wasn't using it for like 3-4 hours yesterday at work, right? And it went from like 93 or 80% to like 62. Like, I was using my V40 to listen to music while throwing the truck, and it was like at 90 something. It probably went down to 86 or something like that. And this is coming from like streaming music through Google Play Music and stuff like that. So it's not like I'm just doing it through my local storage or anything like that, which still, if you're playing high quality files, is very demanding. And it isn't like my TRN V90s are really power hungry. I think they're 22 ohms. So any phone really can power them unless you have like a phone from 2002. But that's whatever. So comparatively, what does the Note have in terms of audio capabilities that the V40 doesn't? And I would say if you have the supplied headphones, I can't find them, but which is another issue because due to the fact that I don't use them, I don't know where I put them. So that's a problem right there. It has the ear scanning, not the same tech, but it does a similar effect to what the HTC Sonic headphones do, where it'll play like certain frequency of sound into your ear, and it'll ask, can you hear it? You say yes or no, and it does that for like a few different steps, and then it'll tailor your it'll it'll tailor how your music sounds to that. And that's pretty cool actually. That's something that I do actually feel is pretty nice. But it didn't really seem to have that much of a difference in terms of my listening experience, so it wasn't really that groundbreaking or that useful in that regard, but I still think for those people that it really matters for, that's cool, right? Um okay. So in terms of like minute details, what does the V40 really do that the Note 10 can't do in terms of what you can hear with your audio? For one, when you plug in, say, these $50 TRN V90s into your V40, which are 5 driver headphones, they have 5 drivers in each ear. You can hear like a lot of different like sound that you have really never heard before. Like say I was listening to All Eyes on Me, Tupac's album, right? And I there was so many different things in terms of stereo separation, certain sounds coming in one ear, being in one ear and in the other ear, and like just like overall volume. The V40 has the Note 10 beat, definitely in that regard, because you can have you can have headphones at full volume and not have any sort of sound be shrill or distorted or get muddied through bass. That ultimately depends on the headphones you get too. Keep that in mind. So that's not necessarily solely on the V40, but the V40 definitely does help with that sort of thing. And while I'm able to say that the Note 10 is definitely bearable, it definitely is usable, it wouldn't be a phone that I would use to solely listen to music, because if I have to plug in a dongle just to just to use a pair of my favorite earphones or whatever, that's just something that isn't valuable to me. And if I can't use, say, my Sennheiser HD 650s, which are 300 ohm headphones, the corded audio on this phone is basically dead to me. And it doesn't really just go down to that. Bluetooth, for whatever reason, is louder and clearer on my V40. It tends to be lower. Now, that honestly could also go up to audio mixing depending on what you're listening to as well. But in terms of music, I don't like using Bluetooth for music anyway. But for whatever reason, it's ever so slightly like bass heavy with the V40. It could be because it's an LG headset, but I don't really think that's the case. But and I know you can go into developer options and turn on aptX HD or LDAC and stuff like that, but I just never really cared because it's just something that I don't do. I don't listen to music with my Bluetooth headset. I listen to podcasts, and for podcasts, using my Note 10 is more than okay. It's totally fine. And that's honestly what I would say, is that the audio capabilities in terms of corded audio is fine on the Note 10. It just comes down to the fact that it doesn't have a headphone jack, therefore it's less convenient and less versatile. Sure, you can use Bluetooth with these newer cars and newer sound systems and stuff like that, but there's audio lag that has to be constituted into that, as well as, distortion and all that stuff. Bluetooth is just not really ready for high quality audio. So that's just something that I personally care about and that more people should care about. But yeah, that's pretty much it as far as this video goes. I'm getting messages like it's nothing. Sorry, you guys. This is Sparta. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for supporting. You guys have a wonderful Saturday, whatever time of day it is in the area. Like the video if you like it, dislike it. If you dislike it, share with people that are interested in this sort of content. And let me know in the comment section, do you have a Note 10? How do you feel the corded audio is for you? Now, for me, it's different because I've been using a V20, V30, V40, G7, G8. Well, soon to be G8 anyway. And I'm used to this now. The V10 never really did this to me, but the V20 is the phone that I was like, yeah, this is the way to go. So let me know in the comment section below what you feel about this. Sorry about my long rambling video. I need to get some sleep, so that's why. But yeah, have a good one, you guys. I appreciate it.